And change, man, even though so beautiful, change can be so beautiful, it can also create grief. And grief does not mean something has gone wrong. Sometimes grief is simply love adjusting to a new shape. I'm not sad because Theo is becoming exactly who he is supposed to become. I'm grieving a version of our life that I know I cannot keep. I believe that makes me present enough to recognize that this mattered. Welcome to the Fitzpatrick Project, the podcast for the woman who built a beautiful life but still finds herself asking who she is as that life begins to change. I'm Rachel Fitzpatrick, and each week we explore how to navigate life's identity shifts, trust what comes next, and build a life that continues to feel like your own. Because alignment is the new hustle, and you are your most important project. In today's episode, we're going to explore 3 big things. 1, why a beautiful milestone can create genuine grief, like even when nothing is wrong. And for 2, the difference between protecting your child and then trying to control the unknown. And then 3, how to let your child enter their next chapter without losing yourself as your role begins to change. So let's go. All right, so there are transitions we choose, and then there are transitions that arrive simply because time kept moving, right? And our children grow, thankfully, and the school year begins, right? And then those clothes that once swallowed them suddenly don't fit anymore. And then one day, you're standing in the doorway, watching the child you would still carry everywhere if you could walk into the life that requires you to loosen your grip. Today's episode is super personal, and I'll probably cry during it, but that's okay because it's about my biggest heartstring. And as you can probably tell, Theo, right? My son. He started kindergarten today, and I am so extremely proud of him. He's growing up. He's so funny. Oh my God, he's so funny. He says the craziest things. He's 5, right? He's becoming more independent, which is a blessing. Massive blessing, right? Like he can shower by himself. He can do the bathroom thing by himself. He can change his clothes, pick his clothes out. He can brush his teeth without being asked. Like these are huge things that I'm like, yes, I'm happy to not own any of this anymore. But he's stepping into this new world and he's doing phenomenal. Oh man, Josh and I have done very good and I'm so proud of us. And in the same breath, if I get quiet enough, like if I become still enough, I can literally feel the ache in my heart. Like it is a pain, heart pain. And in times like these, like first day of kindergarten, it's like a dagger. And part of me really wants to store him in a bottle and keep him exactly as he is right now because I love it so much. And I want to preserve his little voice and his questions and his hands. Oh, his hands. They're my favorite. And the way he still needs me. And I just love being his mom, like just his mom. I don't know what it's like being anybody else's mom, but I am so in love with life right now with him in this version of our life. and time keeps changing it. And before I know it, time changes it again. And I can't keep him in a bottle, right? And honestly, I'm not supposed to. I'm really not. And that's the part that kind of hurts probably the most, right? Because motherhood, it asks us to do something that feels almost impossible. It just like takes my breath away every time I really get into it and start leaning into it. Like we're supposed to love our children with every part of ourselves while continually preparing them to need us differently. It's quite the paradox. And I mean, like, we spend years protecting them. I mean, I feel like I spent a whole year growing him inside of my body. Like that time that I got to have 2 heartbeats in one body. Like, oh, 2 sets of hands and sets of feet and ears and eyes in one body. And then I spent years carrying him and protecting him and guiding him and building a world where he could feel safe, you know? And then just like from baby to toddler to where he's at now, you know, you take out some of those measures and you begin to trust that he's not going to drink the bleach under the sink or the Tide Pods that are for the laundry or any of those things. Like he can actually walk down the steps without holding your hand, right? But those things, those are just ominous and they're just there and just like brushing your teeth or going and taking a shower and transitioning from bath to shower and like those little things, right? And then little by little, we have them walk beyond the edges of the world that we built. And kindergarten may seem like an ordinary milestone. Perhaps it is. But for those sensitive souls like myself in the world, it's not that ordinary. You know, of course, children start school every year and families do this every August. But when it's your child, it doesn't feel very ordinary. And it feels like a threshold. And I know I'm not the only mother standing in one right now. Like, I get it. And maybe your only child is starting kindergarten too. Or maybe your oldest is leaving for college while your youngest begins their senior year. Or maybe your child is moving into their first apartment or starting their career or getting married or building a family of their own. Like the details are different, of course. But the question underneath them is still the same. Like, who am I when they need me differently? And that's the part we don't always say out loud. We talk about whether they're ready. Like, do they have everything they need? Will they make friends? Are they prepared? Will people be kind to them? Will they know what to do when we're not there? But beneath all of those questions may be another one. Am I ready? Am I ready to trust what I've taught them? Am I ready to trust the people in the world around them? Am I ready to let this chapter end without trying to negotiate with time? Am I ready to meet the version of myself who exists on the other side of this transition? Yes. We can become so focused on preparing our children for their next chapter that we forget that we are entering one too. And I am so guilty of it, which is probably why this is so emotional for me, because I'm in it right now. Like, I'm in the depths of it all right now. And this is my conversation that I had with myself today. So you're getting it raw and firsthand, right? But we're entering one too. We're entering a transition too. And their transition is very visible. And I think that's why it's so painstakingly aware. There's backpacks, there's dorm rooms, there's new schedules and photographs and first day traditions, right? And ours often happen quietly. It happens in the empty room after they leave, and the silence in the car. And then the moment that we realize that something we once considered part of our identity is beginning to change. And change, man, even though so beautiful, change can be so beautiful. I mean, look at a butterfly. It can also create grief. And grief does not mean something has gone wrong. Sometimes grief is simply love adjusting to a new shape. I'm not sad because Theo is becoming exactly who he is supposed to become. I'm not sad. But I am sad because I have loved who he has been so deeply. Like, I'm grieving a version of him, right? And a version of me, and a version of our life that I know I cannot keep. And that doesn't make me ungrateful. No, I believe that makes me present enough to recognize that this mattered. And we've been taught to rush ourselves through these moments, to be proud and excited and don't cry. They're going to do great. And yes, they are going to do great. I know he's going to do great. I have no doubt that he's going to do great. But pride and grief can live in the same body at the same time. And excitement and fear can occupy the same heart. You can believe that your child is ready at the exact same time you wish you had more time. And you can know that letting them fly is part of loving them, and still feel the instinct to pull them back underneath your wing. And we do not have to choose one truth. We can let it be both. And so now what? Like, how do we let them thrive? Because thriving is their birthright, while also caring for the deep heartache that comes with releasing them. Because being present is also our birthright. Well, first, we have to let ourselves feel it. We stop trying to turn the ache into a problem that needs to be solved. Because not every painful emotion is evidence that something is wrong. Some emotions are asking us to be a witness, not to fix it, right? Like, cry in the car if you need to. Put your hand on your heart and acknowledge what this moment truly represents. You can say it plainly. This chapter is ending, and it mattered to me. This is beautiful, and it hurts. I am proud of who they are becoming, and I miss who they have been. The ache becomes louder when we become still, because stillness creates room for the truth. And yeah, it's probably uncomfortable, but it's not dangerous, okay? It's not dangerous. It's love moving through a transition with us, with our body, right? And we have to be with all parts of ourselves, with ourselves. And secondly, we remember that protection and control are not the same thing. Like protecting children means preparing them and advocating for them and loving them and remaining a safe place for them to return to. Like that's protection. Whereas like control will ask us to prevent every fall, remove every uncertainty, guarantee every outcome, right? But what I know to be true is we can't give our children roots and wings while insisting they never leave the ground. My mom taught me that. And now I understand firsthand her identity shifts, right? And then at some point, trust becomes part of the protection. And that's true because we trust the love we've given them. We trust the values we have molded. And we trust their ability to make decisions and ask for help and learn and recover and pivot and grow, rinse and repeat. Like we trust ourselves to be there without needing to stand between them and every one of their experiences. And that trust asks so much of us because the unknown is where our control ends. But the unknown is also where their lives begin to belong to them, right? Where they get to have their life because it's their birthright. And all the while, we have to refuse to abandon ourselves as they grow. Like our children's independence is not evidence that our purpose is disappearing. Our usefulness is no longer useful. No, their independence is that change. It's the evolution. It's a revolving door, right? It's an invitation for our purpose to expand, quite frankly. And the space they create by needing us is different. And it doesn't, like when they don't need us anymore in this aspect, I don't necessarily think it means that we need to fill that space immediately. But I do believe that it means we need to become curious about that space. is empty now, right? I've been doing a whole lot of that this summer as I've watched in real time Theo grow and making sure we have like the most fun summer he could possibly have before he has to go to school like for forever. And yeah, I'm just like, when you go back to school, like, what am I going to do with all this free time? It's a blank canvas. I'm not planning a wedding. I'm not um, doing much of nothing, really. You just got to go to school. But the point is like, I'm sitting in this empty space and I've gotten curious about it. And what's my next move? And what's going on while he goes to school? Like, what part of me has been waiting for my attention, right? And you can ask yourself the same thing. Like, what part of you has been waiting for your attention? And what did I love before every moment of my life belonged to someone else's schedule? I actually just had that conversation with my husband the other day. Like, I was so active before I became pregnant. I was training for a mini marathon. I was in the gym on the days I wasn't running, and on the days I wasn't running or in the gym, I was in yoga. And like, my life is meant to be active. It's meant for activities. And slowly but surely all summer long, I've been in the gym and fluctuating yoga and realizing like I maybe am subconsciously preparing myself for this space, right? And then I realized today, like, maybe I don't really have to feel it, but also, like, these are things that I loved before my life belonged to someone else's schedule. Just got curious about it. And then another question to ask that I've also asked myself recently is, what dream, desire, friendship, practice, or piece of my identity have I been postponing? Yeah, I saw one of my best friends in the store just last night, and she is sending her son to college. I'm sending mine to kindergarten, and we're both just in desperation. And we said, like, at the same time, we've got to do breakfast again. Like, that's been a thing. Like, we've really wanted to grow deeper in our friendship, even. And I'm not saying that we need to make our children's transitions about us. Like, that's not what I'm saying. Don't make it about you, but it is recognizing that you are transitioning too, and that you deserve care as you move through it, as I do, as my friend does, as all of us do, because we are still their mother. But you are not only their mother at the same time. I'm not just a mom at the same time. And I really believe what makes this so powerful is I want him to see that I'm also not losing myself to prove to him how much I love him. Like, does that make sense? Like, in fact, like, one of the most powerful things that we can do and model is what it looks like for a woman to continue to be coming into herself, coming back home to her heart, leading in a heart-led life. I think that's one of the most powerful things we can possibly do. And yeah, they get to watch us honor this grief, but also not be consumed by it. And they get to watch us build this like meaningful life while also remaining deeply connected to them. Deeply connected. And our love isn't a possession. It's presence and it's trust and it's creating a safe place for someone to return home to without making them feel guilty for leaving or for having to grow up, right? And maybe that's like the work this season. Not letting go of our children, but letting go of the version of our relationship that can no longer hold who they are becoming. I'm not releasing the love. We're not releasing the love. We're releasing the shape that it used to take. Right? And I believe that's what that alignment looks like here. That's the alignment. It doesn't mean that it always feels peaceful. I think maybe alignment breaks your heart a little bit because it asks you to stop clinging to something that's so beautiful but has completed its season. But also to bless what was and remain present for what is and trust what is becoming. Yeah, that's the alignment. Bless what was. Remain present for what is. And trust what is becoming. So if you're standing at one of these thresholds with me, I want you to know this. You do not have to rush your heart. And you do not have to pretend it's easy simply because it's good. You can celebrate them and grieve. You can loosen your grip and remain connected. And you can let them become who they are meant to be without disappearing from your own life. They get to fly. And so do you. Maybe the now what isn't immediately knowing what comes next. Maybe it begins with trusting that this ending is also an opening for them and for us. To recap, beautiful transitions can still create real grief. Like protecting the people we love does not require controlling every outcome. And their next chapter can become an invitation to rediscover ourselves, not abandon ourselves. So if you can take one thing from today, let it be this. You do not have to stop loving who they have been in order to make room for who they are becoming. And you do not have to lose yourself while learning to love them differently. And if this episode met you in a transition of your own, I'd love for you to send it to another mother who may be holding pride and heartache at the same time. And remember, you're allowed to honor who you have been. Love the life you have built and still know that you are your most important project. And to Theo, I will probably always want to keep every version of you. But I know that loving you means making room for the next one. So I will hold those memories I will tend to my heart, and I will let you grow. Because thriving is your birthright, and continuing to become is mine.